Hello, I'm Mike Russell from musicradiocreative.com. On today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to process a voiceover that you've recorded into Adobe Audition 3.0. As you can see, just a moment ago myself, I recorded my own voiceover, and I'm going to play it back to you. Note that there is no compression on this whatsoever. It is just my microphone plugged into my computer. Have a listen to this.
Health and safety. Don't block fire exits.
It sounds okay, but it could have a lot more dynamic, and you could add some filter, some EQ, compression, and make it really cut above the rest and have a bit of power to it. And obviously, if you're going to mix it with music and effects, it will help it to cut across those. So the first thing I'm going to advise you to do when you've recorded your voiceover in is go into the Effects menu, go down to Filter and EQ, and use the Graphic Equalizer. Here it is. Trusty old effect presets, no need to make your own at this stage. Go to the bottom. Vocal Magic Breath is the preset that I like to use. And you'll notice that it does very little to the voice apart from adds a little bit of high-end treble. There it is. Click OK. And the very smallest amount of change, as you'll notice there. The waveform hardly changed at all. I'll play it back to you. See whether you can spot just that tiny bit of treble now in the voice.
Health and safety. Don't block fire exits.
You'll probably need very finely tuned hearing to notice that, but obviously when you put the compression on, it will make all the difference. Once you've applied the EQ, now is the time to normalize your voiceover. Effects, amplitude and compression, and normalize as we did in the previous tutorial. Make sure the normalize is to 100% there. Normalize to 100%, okay. There it is, nice and loud. What you might want to do, you'll notice the end part of the voiceover is slightly louder than the start part, the health and safety bit. I'm going to select that on its own, effects, amplitude and compression, normalize to 100%, and you'll see it's just made that a bit louder as well. For some reason, the first part of the voiceover was slightly quieter than the last part, so it's always a good idea to try and get the whole voiceover as loud as you possibly can before you apply the next filter. The next filter is a compressor. Now, there are so many compressors in Adobe Audition 3.0, I think you would tear your hair out if you tried them all out. There's a couple that I quite like. If you want to put a pretty light compression on there, it's Effects, Amplitude and Compression, and then you go into Dynamics Processing. And I'll put it onto Graphics so you can see the graph there. And there is actually a voiceover preset. Beware, when you use this, it can actually drag up the background noise as well, so you can get quite a bit of hiss. But that's quite a good preset. The preset I'm going to show you, though, is in Effects, Amplitude and Compression, Multi-Band Compression, and this is amazing. This is a plugin that you only get with Adobe Audition 3.0. The preset is called Broadcast, and believe me, it really sounds like you're broadcasting on a radio station when you apply this. It's great to use if you're making maybe a demo to send off to a radio station and you want to sound like you were really on the air, or putting together a portfolio of your best jingles and you want it to sound like you recorded them from the radio. It's brilliant. It's about as close, I think, as you can get with a plugin to real radio compression, which costs thousands of pounds. So let's click OK. And as you can see, it's really beefed it up. It almost looks like a block now. Let's listen back.
Health and safety. Don't block fire exits.
Brilliant. I mean, that's going to cut across any effect or any piece of music. The only thing you might find is, in some cases, it might be just a little bit too strong if you're planning to use it, say, on an FM radio station that has a compressor on it itself. You're going to find that it probably will compress it twice, and you'll end up sounding, well, very broken up and distorted. So for our purpose, though, that's fine. The final effect that I'm going to show you is an optional extra, and I hope you like it. Effects, Reverb, Studio Reverb, and this is a micy reverb. I'm going to show you all my presets now. Go down to the bottom, go for Vocal Reverb Medium. Now, I'll show you why this is not so good in its current form. If you click OK, it's going to sound like you're in a cathedral when I play it back.
Health and safety. Don't block fire exits.
Which you don't want. So I'm going to undo that using the undo icon, or you can use Edit, Undo. Go to Effects, Reverb, Studio Reverb. All you have to change is the last two presets, output level. The dry, which is like the original vocal, put that to 100% so you get your original intact. And the wet, which in layman's terms is the echo, take that from 40% down to 15 and click OK. There we go. Tiny bit of sparkle now. Take a listen to this.
Health and safety. Don't block fire exits.
And that is your finished product, your processed voiceover. Hope you found this tutorial handy, and if you did, well, please leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. If you'd like some more, feel free to ask me any questions, and maybe I'll make a tutorial to answer your question. I'm Mike Russell from musicradiocreative.com.